Deputy Governor, Majority Leader, Minority Leader, Honorable Members of the County Assembly, our County Secretary, County Executive Members, Chief Officers, Nakuru County staff, and the beloved residents of this great county. We are living in challenging times, and as you all know, this address would otherwise have been made in their county assembly, in the presence of members and our cabinet, and together with the public. But unfortunately, today, we have to address matters affecting the county virtually because, as we all know, we have to adapt to the challenging times under the COVID-19. Since March last year, we have had to introduce a raft of measures to protect residents as well as to prevent the spread of the disease. We also have worked on implementation of guidelines given by the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Transport, and as well collaborate with the Interior Ministry. In March 2020, we had to decongest sectors with great population by relocating bus stages and markets to areas that were more conducive to their business. We did put hand washing points, social amenities such as toilets, and also worked to improve infrastructure in areas we relocated the stages and markets. After a few months, we allowed traders back to the market and emphasized on strict observance of the Ministry of Health COVID-19 protocols, including wearing of masks. We set COVID-19 isolation facilities across the county to manage the disease and have increased our bed capacity to 500. Private hospitals have also played a critical role, and we also wish to take this opportunity to commend them for acting in a manner that is most complementary to the challenge of COVID-19. My administration, through the Department of Health Services, trained over 2,000 health workers on COVID-19 management. We went further to train 3,000 community health volunteers on home-based care for COVID-19 patients. These CHVs have been critical in managing the pandemic, especially on home-based care. And we wish to note that, especially for patients who did not have any serious symptoms, they were referred to home and would be visited and get guidance from these community health workers. So we wish to take this opportunity to congratulate the entire health team, together with the community health volunteers, for their continued selfless efforts as frontline workers in this war against COVID-19. I salute and appreciate each and every one of you for working in the over 200 health facilities spread across the 11 sub-counties. You are heroes, and I assure you that my administration will continue to support you through training, provision of protective gear, and motivate you so that you can continue to pursue your noble duties. Fellow residents, we braved the first and second waves, and just as we thought things were getting better, with the lifting of restrictions, the third wave hit again. We are under lockdown alongside 4 other counties considered to be under the high infection zone. As I address you today, I wish to state that the number of COVID-19 cases in Nakuru is rising. The statistics show Nakuru County has recorded 7,472 cases as at 13th of April 2021. Unfortunately, 212 of these have succumbed to the disease. The impact of COVID-19 has especially been severe in the third wave, not only because of the economic challenges associated with the lockdown, but also the number of fatalities. The variant has symptoms that camouflage as other diseases, therefore easily ignored, and patients therefore seeking medical help when it is often too late. Currently, we are having 87 people admitted in public and private isolation facilities, with 73 being on oxygen, while 5 are on ICU. To date, we have vaccinated a total of 30,000 residents, with the beneficiaries being mainly the frontline workers and the elderly. We have set up vaccination centers in hospitals, both public and private, across the 11 sub-counties. By now, the COVID-19 has reached community level, and most of us know someone, a friend, a colleague, or a neighbor who has been infected or succumbed to the disease. As a county, we have lost critical members of our staff. It will be remembered that late last year we lost Engineer Ochieng, one of our most dedicated officers. Later on, we also lost Dr. Kingori, who was our general in the fight against COVID-19 and leading our public health officers in ensuring that the county put up a proper fight against the COVID-19. And we salute his courage, especially in those very difficult times. We also lost our Deputy Director for Political Affairs, retired Sergeant Wilfred Chebochok. And like all the others, he was in the front line because we had a robust sensitization program that included going to the villages and ensuring that the communities are well informed. And again, to the families of these three and others who have fallen off in the process, our condolence to these families. At the County Assembly, we were also affected in a big way. We lost Sami Karanja Mbugwa from London Ward. We also lost John Juguna, also known as Wasusi, from Hellsgate. And since then, the 2 by-elections have been held, and those positions have already been replaced. I request that we all observe a minute of prayer for these families, among others. And also I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge that we have lost very senior members of the society from the political class. We've lost some of our most seasoned politicians, Olesonu being one of them. We also lost one of our most dedicated farmers, Mr. Ndongo of Pokea Farm. And it will be remembered that this is one of our best performing farms, best known for breeding of Holstein cows, and one that has been an inspiration to many young farmers who have visited there, and many others who have succumbed along the way. So I think for us, our hearts are down, but we stand in prayer and remain hopeful that especially in days to come, we will be able to overcome this pandemic, and also to really beseech that the people who have been profiled for vaccination to come up and indeed not listen to the propaganda that we've seen in recent times that has affected that. But I'm happy that already we have seen that upsurge in uptake of vaccination. Ladies and gentlemen, my administration continues to put measures for preparedness and ensure our health facilities are well equipped and staffed. We continue to collaborate with other state organs in the management of COVID-19 in the county through the COVID-19 emergency response, and working through the county commissioner and his team. We want to thank the entire team for work well done, although still much more needs to be done, and I'm sure we'll be able to see this cooperation also in the coming days. In the past few weeks, the investment we made in healthcare has proved to be very useful, especially in mitigation against COVID-19. We must remember that, for example, at the PGH, we have an oxygen production plant, and this has ensured steady supply to our hospitals, both private and public. But as we all know, the demand has risen steadily, and while we have been producing 20 cylinders, and this has been sufficient over time, now we have to produce a total of 120 cylinders a day. And this has, in many instances, been a major challenge. Our aim, therefore, is to increase supply and also pipe oxygen in all our health facilities so that we can be able to meet any emergencies that come. COVID-19 pandemic had a negative impact on almost all the other sectors of the economy. Lives have been disrupted, jobs lost, and we are also faced with a great challenge of asking ourselves, what next? In March last year, we introduced a raft of measures to cushion the vulnerable members of the community across the county. We distributed food and non-food items to over 140,000 households across 54 wards, and cash transfers made to 2,555 families in one ward. We also distributed vouchers worth 4.5 million shillings to cancer patients, hawkers, persons living with disabilities, and also HIV patients. We also distributed vouchers and food packages worth 4.5 million to 698 ECD and private school teachers. We identified persons living with disabilities as a vulnerable group and ensured food packages to a total of 7,967 persons. Through the Nakuru Community Support Initiative, we also received donations of food and non-food items that were distributed to the vulnerable. We also activated our TVETs and engaged current and former students to produce reusable masks that were distributed free across the county. Fellow residents, you'll remember that 2 weeks ago, we introduced tax incentives to cushion our traders, especially in small and medium enterprises, from the impact of the lockdown. These included a waiver on market fees for the months of April and May 2020, waiver for fees paid by boda operators for the month of April, and 50% monthly charges for tuk-tuk operators for the month of April 2020. Waiver on penalties on trade licenses accruing after 31st March to 30th of April were also considered, while 100% extension on land rates waiver up to 20th of April 2021 were also instituted. We also had a waiver for trade licenses for local private primary schools and also secondary schools. The key lesson we have learned from the COVID-19 pandemic is the importance of having functional healthcare systems. One of the key agenda has been to improve healthcare through building of hospitals, equipping them, and ensuring that they are adequately staffed. We have done this by allocating 32% of our budget, amounting to 6.3 billion shillings of our total budget, to healthcare financing every year. The county government of Nakuru has so far operationalized 13 new healthcare facilities, and 26 more are upcoming in various stages of construction. Level 2 and 3 hospitals are the first point of call when people fall ill, as they are unable to adequately manage small conditions such as flu, skin infection, diarrhea, among others. In my manifesto during the 2017 campaigns, I promised to build several health facilities to improve healthcare services across the county, and to this effect, we set over 1 billion shillings for infrastructure upgrade of health facilities that are now ongoing in various parts of the county. Currently, we have about 10 major hospitals under constructions across the county. In Naivasha sub-county, we are constructing a 300 million hospital in conjunction with the Kenya Electricity Generating Company, KenGen. This hospital will help us to attend occasional accidents across the Nakuru-Nairobi highway, as well as workers in the flower farm and the big industrial base that is coming up in Maimahiu. At the level 5 hospital here in Nakuru, the construction of a 4-story outpatient department at a cost of 600 million is complete, and equipping will begin anytime soon. In Maimahiu area, we have earmarked this area for upgrade, noting that the inland container terminal and the standard gauge railway are the new economic drivers of this place. And therefore, to match this new status, the county government of Nakuru has set aside 160 million for Maimahiu Hospital upgrade. The groundbreaking was done early this year, and construction is ongoing. We have also set aside funds for the construction of staff houses in our for our healthcare workers, to ensure the facility is open round the clock. In Gilgil, the construction of a 40 million modern maternity is almost complete. We also constructed a modern theatre at the hospital, which is also fully operational. A few weeks ago, we began the construction of a modern level 4 facility at Njoro Sub-County Hospital, and it will cost a total of 157 million and will cater for patients from Mau Narok, Mauche, Kihingo, Nesfit, Lare, and Njoro. We are also constructing a modern outpatient facility at Taita Health Facility in Mauche at a cost of 25 million shillings. In the first phase of The first phase of a modern 150-bed maternity wing at Elbagon Hospital in Molo is almost complete. The contractor is fitting and installing doors, windows, electricity, and we expect that in the next 2 months it will be complete. The 40 million wing will also house theaters, laboratories, x-rays and ultrasound, pharmacy and essential maternity services. Last year we equipped a comprehensive theater at the Elbagon Nyayo Ward Hospital. This means there will be no referrals to level 4 hospitals, as the hospital will manage complex surgeries that were previously referred to level 4s. In Molo, we are constructing a 200 million modern level 4 hospital, and once complete, the facility will be critical in handling emergency cases on the highway, especially the accidents that often have been referred there, and it will also help us to manage the region beyond just the Molo constituency. In the neighboring Kuresoi South sub-county, the construction of a 100 million Olenguroni Hospital is taking shape. The hospital will have a comprehensive outpatient unit, an administration block, and a mother-child special clinic. In Bahati sub-county, we have just completed the construction of a 30 million Githioro Health Center in Dondori Ward. The facility is set to serve residents who had previously traveled to Nakuru Level 5 or other facilities nearby for treatment. And I am happy that we are now at the equipping stage for this particular facility, and it will go a long way in alleviating the suffering for patients around Bahati Githioro area. Beyond the infrastructure upgrades, we are also deeply engaged in the cancer management. And I want to confirm that working with the national government, we initiated a 500 million facility that is set to be our radiotherapy center. And it is meant to complement our cancer treatment center that was initiated in 2018, which has so far been able to attend to 30,000 people, patients for that matter. But as we all know, for cancer management, you also require radiotherapy services that we previously have had to refer our patients to Nairobi or Eldoret Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital. But with this facility born by the cooperation between the national government and the Ministry of Health and the national government, the 500 million facility is at the tail end, and we are happy to note that once it has been installed, we'll be able to cater for all radiotherapy services, including brachytherapy, which is a modern way of addressing radiotherapy, and we also have a CT simulator machine and a LINAC. The radiology center will complement the oncology center that opened in May 2018 and will be expected to give comprehensive cancer care that has been lacking in this entire region. To ensure efficient service delivery in our hospitals, we automated payment systems across 19 facilities. This has led to an increase in revenue collection in hospitals from 400 million to 1 billion in the last 3 years. So we have had an increase of about 600 million shillings just by changing and automating those services. Payment for services at these hospitals are made through bank agents or M-Pesa to clear medical bills, therefore sealing loopholes that have previously dogged the institutions. The revenue collected from these facilities has been used to improve the infrastructure mentioned above, and in future we will even enhance this particular service and also spread it across all the other facilities that are not yet in this. To ensure residents get adequate service, we have ensured timely procurement of medical supplies, and to this I want to confirm that we have enough stocks, and we are always equipped for the next 90 days even if no supply was to come. And this has gone a long way to ensure that confidence in our public health facilities is restored, and we have seen this through increased visitations by our patients across all the hospitals. To match and address human resource capacity in line with the ongoing infrastructure upgrade in our hospitals, we have employed over 500 additional healthcare workers, and these newly employed workers include registered nurses, paramedics, physiotherapists, radiographers, clinical officers, public health officers, and ambulance operators. We have also effected the promotion of various cadres of health workers, including nurses, clinical officers, public health officers, physiotherapists, nutritionists, among others. Recently also, we promoted 74 doctors, and allow me also to confirm that a lot of them challenges we've had in the past, including strikes by the healthcare workers, has been because of lack of promotion over time. So I want to confirm that as a county, we have met our side of the bargain and will continue to honor the agreements we have made with the trade unions and the healthcare workers. Ladies and gentlemen, timely response to emergencies can mean life or death to a patient. This is why we invested in the purchase of ambulances, and now I want to confirm that we have a functional fleet of 30 ambulances, 5 of which have advanced life support equipment. We have also set up an ambulance dispatch and control center to enhance emergency and referral services, where all ambulances have been fitted with a modern GIS system. That's a geographic information system. In the event of an accident, the paramedic manning the dispatch and control center, in the event of an incident, the paramedic manning the dispatch center sends out a radio signal that is received by all ambulances, and the nearest one to the scene attends to the accident. And this has reduced a lot of costs associated with ambulance management, because you would have an ambulance take a patient to Naivasha and come back empty, while there was need for a patient to be taken from the same Naivasha and brought here. It brought greater efficiency in the management of our ambulance system. The dispatch center is also linked with other emergency service providers such as Fire Brigade, the police, the NTSA, Kenya Red Cross, and the St. John's Ambulance to ease coordination among disaster response units. And again, I must confess that challenges in coordination between these emergency response units has been a major cause of delays in addressing accidents, especially on our major highways. And therefore, we want to applaud this particular initiative that allows emergency responders to be in one team and to make sure that within the shortest time, they are able to address whatever emergencies that are there. Ladies and gentlemen, agriculture in Nakuru produces about 40% of the national GDP. We are in the top 3 in production of quality of milk in Kenya. And in the year 2020, farmers in Nakuru County produced 382 million liters of milk compared to 300 million liters in 2019. This was an increase of about 27.2%. We attribute this increase to adoption of improved feeds due to increased use of silage and legume fodder, as well as favorable weather that we experienced in the year 2020. Last year, the county government of Nakuru procured the first forage harvester together with other farm inputs as part of the agriculture mechanization project. And this was done at a cost of 13.7 million shillings. The equipment is helping dairy farmers to make forage, and this translates to quality fodder, which increases milk production and also beef, mutton, and hides. In 2017, the county government of Nakuru spearheaded the avocado revolution, aimed at encouraging crop diversity and also giving our farmers an alternative crop. Farmers harvested the first crop with about 4.2 tons of avocado fruits collected from 15 farmers in Amalo and Kiptagich wards, Kuresoi South, for export last year. The county government of Nakuru started to breed The county government of Nakuru has also started a breed improvement program to help farmers get better returns from livestock keeping. A total of 100 Sahiwal and Borana bulls were purchased. We also got 130 Dopa rams and 130 girl goat bucks have been distributed under the initiative at a cost of 21.5 million shillings. We also started a program to boost income and nutrition supplementation. We launched the local chicken stimulus project last year and have distributed about 50,000 chicks to date. Another successful project that is helping improve livelihoods as well as nutrition is fish farming. The county government of Nakuru introduced fishing activities at Kenyatta Dam in Kuresoi North Sub-County by introducing 10,000 fingerlings. Kapkores and Ngenda dams in the same area were also restocked with 5,000 fingerlings each. This initiative has created job opportunities for the youth and encouraged a fish-eating culture in a community that previously did not consume the fish. This year, the Department of Livestock and Fisheries, in collaboration with the national government, introduced 100,000 tilapia fingerlings in Lake Naivasha. Last year, 250 metric tons of fish worth 240 million was harvested from Lake Naivasha and sold. And this, as you can imagine, also translates to many families and many homesteads that have also benefited from this money. The lake supports over 1,000 fish farmers directly, while another 10,000 people benefit indirectly. Thus, the restocking will ensure continuity and sustainability in fishing. To improve fish trade, we completed the equipping of a fish bulking, preservation and processing unit at the central fish landing site at the lake. This was done at a cost of 20 million shillings. And once this is complete, we expect that trading and fishing activities will be improved, especially given that this is a major employer for that region. Ladies and gentlemen, the Parethram Revival Program is another milestone we have made in the county. I want to take this opportunity to cite one Joshua Tonui from Kuresoi South, who was among the hundreds of farmers who embraced planting of the crop and is reaping benefits today. He harvests the flowers twice a week and sells a kilo at 200 shillings, and this earns him about 15,000 a month. This is the story of Kuresoi, Subukia, Gilgil, and Molo, where farmers have planted the crop. Since the inception of the Parethram Revival Program, 8 million Parethram seedlings have been distributed to farmers across the county. Last year, an additional 200 million shillings was disbursed to buy Parethram seedlings. We target to have 1,500 acres under Parethram, but currently it is at about 1,000 acre mark. We encourage our farmers also to plant other crops of high value, such as macadamia, and this will be part of the bigger diversification program that we have already launched. Markets are critical to the agricultural value chain, and to this extent, my administration has invested in upgrading markets across the county to ensure conducive environment for our traders and customers. In Nakuru County, we have over 70 operational markets, while others are at different stages of construction. Some of the work at the markets include upgrading existing markets, construction of sheds, fencing, drainage works, and proper sanitation. We are also improving storage facilities for traders, especially those that require cold rooms. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to note that the use of ICT has become critical, and traders are embracing digital marketing for their produce. To promote this, we installed Wi-Fi in Kabazi and Gilgil markets. This has helped our traders to identify and connect with suppliers and traders from far and beyond. In top market here in Nakuru, East Sub-County, We have done additional roofing on walkways and slaughterhouse rehabilitation using 8 million shillings upgrade program. In free area, we build sheds and stalls at a cost of 10.8 million shillings. In the same ward, we also constructed new sheds, concrete drainage works at Wakulima, and concrete and drainage works at Wakulima for a sum contract of 50 million shillings. The work included sewage rehabilitation, building of water collection points, and installation of water tanks. New sheds were constructed at Heshima Market at a cost of 10 million, and in Longonot we also built paddocks, an office block, and fencing at a cost of 6 million shillings. Ladies and gentlemen, the first phase of the World Bank funded Naivasha Market is almost complete. And once we have finished the first and second phase, we expect that 2,000 traders will benefit from this facility. This is one of our key flagship projects, and the first phase, which was costing 150, is at its tail end, while the second phase has already been advertised. In Kuresoi South, traders who used to bear the harsh weather in an open-air market just by the roadside have now benefited from a 12 million facility that has helped us to build sheds and give protection to the traders and business people in the market. Further, in Rongai, we have a fully operational Banita market that has enhanced livestock trade, and as it will be remembered, we had already initiated a goat buying program every year, but due to COVID and other challenges, we have not been able to hold it in the last 2 years. But eventually, we would want to turn Banita to a major goat buying center, not just for the county, but also beyond. In Rongai also, we have the Salga market, and we have renovated the fencing, shades, and water. The county government of Nakuru has also signed a memorandum of understanding with the East African Grain Council to develop smart markets. To this end, we have picked Karai Fish Market in Naivasha and Top Market in Nakuru as the pioneers in this particular program. Further, we bought 2 acres of land in Karai, Naivasha for the construction of a fish market. The facility will have refrigeration facilities, parking, restaurants, and other complementary services to increase comfort for people on transit. And I also want to confirm that when you're driving from Nakuru to Naivasha, there are these traders who are by the roadside selling fish. And whenever you see traders, buyers and sellers come together, it means a market exists. And therefore what you're trying now to bring is just the physical market. But you have established that there's a very huge demand for our fish, but people who are using the road require a proper place where they can park, get fish in a hygienic manner, and also ensure that those who want to eat can also sit and eat, and also create wealth around that. And we target to give about 500 people direct jobs, while others will be indirect through creation of those markets. In Nakuru town, we have partnered with the national government to construct a 650 million modern market just near the fire engine. The new market will ease congestion within the town and accommodate more traders who are selling by the roadside. The works of the 3-story market has begun and will accommodate clothing, electronics, household, retail, and eateries. The facilities will also have daycare for mothers who have young children who require to be tended. And I also want to confirm that this market is part of our ongoing program to ensure that through creation of markets, we also create bigger opportunities for our people, especially the traders and the SME sector for that matter. Ladies and gentlemen, a modern bus park is an important infrastructure in any modern city. And to this extent, we have embarked on a reorganization of our town to ensure that public transport is given the right space. A modern sheds at Kitangwanyi in Elementaita at 4.5 million shillings. ongoing construction of markets at Salga, markets in Mosop Ward, fencing and ground leveling at Ororongai, Karunga market sheds in Kabatini is also complete at a cost of 2 million. And in Keringet, Kuresoi South, we have completed the construction of market sheds at a total of 4.7 million shillings. Ladies and gentlemen, Nakuru is one of the fastest growing areas in the region. Our economy as well as population is on the rise. And with this comes urbanization challenges. I want to confirm that the growth of Nakuru and Naivasha municipalities, being our two major towns, has been a major blessing. And to this extent, as a county, we have engaged on deliberate planning, working with our municipal boards to ensure that in the days to come, that urbanization is both regulated and also in the interest of the residents who live there. And in the cities and modern centers that we plan for the future, we want centers that cater for everybody. These are what we call inclusive urban centers. For the poor, for the rich, for the young, for the old, for the disabled, and for all people who live in cities. Cities must be inclusive in all respects. To this extent also, I want to confirm that in our analysis, Nakuru is ripe for a city, and in recognition of this, we embarked on major milestone to ensure that all the legal challenges necessary for the attainment of a city have been heeded. We have appeared before the Senate, and we have made all the necessary deliberations and presentations, and are hopeful that in the coming days, once we are through with the pandemic, Nakuru will be granted the necessary status to be a city. But as we wait for this to happen, we have also embarked on a major infrastructure upgrade to ensure that the city is not just a city on paper, but also backed by proper infrastructure. And to this extent, many will remember that Nakuru, when it rains, we have lost many loved ones. We've also lost a lot of property because of drainage challenges. And therefore, to this extent, we embarked on the construction of a 3.7 kilometer drainage work, starting from Kiamurogi through Kinothiambogwa Road and Kipkelion Roads in Nakuru East. And this has gone a long way in alleviation of flooding that we have seen in the past. And I want to confirm, in the last major rains we had in Nakuru, the perennial flooding was not experienced. We have had encouraging stories from residents who sleep in peace, while before they would not sleep when it rains. The upgrade of Lanet Airport is also another critical milestone in our county. It will bring tourism, create opportunities for business in the hospitality industry, and also make Nakuru a competitive city. Currently, the first phase, which entails the construction of a 1.7 kilometer runway and the rehabilitation of the current runway to bitumen standards, together with the erection of a fence and construction of a taxiway, is underway. The project to be undertaken in 18 months commenced in December and will also involve construction of a terminal building, air rescue, and firefighting. The last three will be in the phase 2 that we are currently negotiating. The project will boost our tourism and horticulture sector, even as the national government seeks to expand the Rironi Mau Summit superhighway. And once again, I must say that all the necessary procurement and planning processes with regard to the dualling of the Nairobi up to Mau Summit Road is at a very advanced stage. And working with all the relevant government agencies, we will cooperate to ensure that this project takes off in the soonest time possible. We have asked the contractor to ensure that the construction of this major highway is of benefit to the local people. And this 160 billion shilling project is a major injection into the economy. But we would want to insist that also local content, as envisaged in our procurement laws, must be respected. If 40% of this was to be done by local people, then the amount of wealth and injection into the economy would be significant. So I think we will work with the relevant government agencies to ensure fidelity to the 40% content for local companies. And I want to say that in the past, major projects where local businesses and local companies are supposed to benefit, especially major construction projects, have ended up alienating locals, and therefore all the money, the profits are shipped out. So we would want to see a difference in this particular project. We have also proposed that when the highway is being constructed, there will be interchanges in Naivasha, which has experienced major bottlenecks, and also Gilgil. We have also proposed the construction of a bypass from STEM area to connect with the Njoro interchange as opposed to the viaduct through the CBD. Additionally, a city should have recreational public spaces, and to this extent, I wish to state that the rehabilitation of Nyayo Garden is almost complete and will be open to the public in May. The county, through the Department of Environment, has been undertaking the rehabilitation of Nyayo Garden to ensure that public spaces are not only available, but are well equipped to ensure that the public is properly served, both in terms of green spaces, but also in terms of ICT and Wi-Fi and all those other services that are associated with this. Additionally, we have been turning the section around opposite State House and section 58 into an arboretum. And so far we are tending trees there and hope that in the next 1 year, that place will be a green area where people can walk, rest, families can go and have their get-together, and more importantly, we shall have achieved a green city. Ladies and gentlemen, in the transport sector, we have set aside 50 million for the construction of a bus park next to Mburuga Highway, and the ground has been graded and cabro works will start soon. We expect the works to be completed by early June. The stage will accommodate 500 vehicles and will have other complementary services, including sanitation and trading opportunities. To ensure smooth flow of vehicles within the CBD, we have set aside 100 million shillings to introduce traffic lights in the town, and this will go a long way in reducing the bottlenecks that we have found in specific areas. My administration is also working to ensure walking within the CBDs is easier and safer for pedestrians. And to this extent, we have plans to build pedestrian walkways in Nakuru East and West, and have a tender for non-motorized traffic, that is NMT, has been advertised through the Nakuru Municipal Board. This will not only ensure safe movement, but also well-being of our residents. And I want to confirm that when you have infrastructure that makes walking easy, you encourage people to walk. And people who walk, or residents who walk other than just taking motorized means of traffic, also end up exercising. And this is very critical to our health. In the area of disaster management, I want to confirm that apart from investing in ambulances, we have constructed a modern fire station that is strategically located within the Nakuru CBD. The construction of the 174 million station is complete and is currently being equipped. It will have fully equipped modern fire engines, ambulances, and we have also included a borehole for steady supply of water at all times. My administration has purchased 2 additional fire engines to ensure timely response to disasters, and will also engage in the training of the firemen, and also a recognition that they are very critical members in the fire response or emergency response program. In Naivasha, we have engaged in rehabilitation of roads and drainage. This includes the tarmacking of 4.1 kilometer in site and service, Kabati and industrial area. This has opened up the area for more investment and ended the perennial challenges associated with flooding during long rains. Additionally, the Department of Infrastructure has also tarmacked roads in other areas including Subukia, Njoro, Gilgil and Naivasha. We have also rehabilitated bus parks in Gilgil and Naivasha, and in subsequent years we'll pick up other towns. When we took office, we launched the Boresha Barabara program to undertake rapid repairs of roads that needed urgent rehabilitation across the county. And it will be remembered that prior to the institution of this particular program, there were sections of the county that were inaccessible. But when we procured the road construction equipment that included trucks, excavators, rollers, and graders at a cost of 200 million shillings, we were able to ensure that a regular repair of roads in the county was done, and that at no time did we have roads that were impassable. And this is particularly important for farmers, noting that much of our rural areas are agricultural places where we need to transport the food to the markets, and also to ensure that fertilizers and seeds also arrive to the farms for planting. In Kuresoi North sub-county, we have done a total of 50.5 kilometers of roads, and that is grading, and that is Kuresoi North and South. And in Rongai and Subukia, we've done 47.5 kilometers, while in Naivasha sub-county, we have done a total of 43.45 kilometers of roads to grading as standards. My administration has also graded a total of 188 kilometers of roads in Gilgil and Bahati under the same Boresha Barabara program. In Gilgil, grading and maraming of roads has been undertaken in Teachers A, Bishop Avenue, Site B Cemetery, and St. Patrick. Under the program, 115 kilometers have been graded in Nakuru West and its sub-counties. We also want to take this opportunity to thank the national government through the relevant ministry for the support and collaboration that we have had in some of these areas. Through lobbying, I want to confirm the national government is rehabilitating and upgrading key roads within Nakuru. One was the South Lake Road, which was rendered almost impassable and has now been complete. I want to take this opportunity to confirm that we are also at the tail end to ensure the procurement of the remaining 14 kilometers that would connect Kongoni to Kasarani and therefore make the entire circuit within the lake complete. We have other key roads also across the county that will be constructed, and some of them, the procurement has already been concluded. One of them is Kembereria Kuresoi Chepsi Road, where the contractor has already reported on site. Others are Kiti Moronyo, where the contractor has already reported on site. The three others that are also just about to be procured include Maela Kongoni, Njoro Neswit, and Kiti Moronyo Githioro Road. Correction, Kiti Githioro Moronyo is already, the contractor is already on site. We also have Simbion Kanyotu, Kwakiongo Gituamba Kabazi, and Masinjeri Mangu, and Mailisita Kabatini roads. Fellow residents, allow me to highlight the issue of land conflicts, noting that Nakuru has had perennial land-related challenges over the years. And owing to this, we have instituted several measures in conjunction with the national government to encourage and entrench alternative dispute resolution mechanisms as a way of ending these historical challenges. Since then, we have also started the titling exercise and have issued over 70,000 title deeds. And to note that out of these, 100,000 people in the county will be issued with this document in the coming days. The beneficiaries include elderly persons, some of whom have pursued these documents, the title deeds, for over 40 years. A title deed is a critical document that can unlock development, as the landowner can access facilities and have confidence to invest in his own land. We have also embarked on mapping of urban areas to ensure landowners with title deeds get the right documents and that the planning does not come when people have already developed the area. The recently completed mapping will benefit 8,500 plot owners in trading centers across the county. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me also to note that Nakuru has attracted major investments in the recent past. We have seen big industries set up in the county, and this is evidence of the growing positive business environment that we have continued to create. Nakuru has attracted huge investments in Nakuru, Mai Mahiu, and Salga areas that now are major economic drivers across. We want to thank the national government for complementing our efforts, and to this extent the SGR and the Inland Container Terminal Depot in Mai Mahiu have gone a long way in instilling the necessary confidence for investors to come to the county. We thank the President also for granting our request for land to also be allocated to investors within the county, that they may be also in a position to participate in this big transformation agenda. And to this extent, we were allocated 50 acres of land that we have since advertised and requested for interested persons so that we can now allocate it. And that process is currently ongoing. The socio-economic assessment for this land is already out and has been validated, and it is awaiting approval from NEMA so that the allocation can be completed. In addition, my administration is keen on capacity building and training to improve service delivery to residents. We are working to increase the number of enforcement officers through recruitment of 50 more, as well as training of the existing. The training targets a total of 594 enforcement officers that will help in providing skills in public relations, customer care, and ethics. A city enforcement officer should be a service provider and not one who instills fear in the residents. Allow me to state that through the County Public Service Board, we have promoted a total of 123 enforcement officers. To bring services closer to the people, my administration and the department has been constructing and equipping sub-county offices throughout the county. This year, we are constructing and equipping 8 ward administrators' office, and these will be one-stop centers for all our administration across the administration units. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to also mention on water. And water is a critical enabler of any development. And in the year 2019-2020, we completed a total of 170 water projects across the county. These include the Menengai water projects in Bahati County, the Jumuiya water project in Subukia, the Total Mau Summit water project in Kuresoi North, and the Milimani water project in Naivasha. In the same year, we drilled 39 boreholes across the county. This financial year, we have allocated a total of 1.1 billion on 437 water projects across the county. We are also looking forward to the completion of the Chemususu Dam in June this year, and as we know, this project will benefit residents in Kiamunyi, Rongai, and parts of Salga. We continue to appeal to the national government to do all that is necessary to revive the Itare water project. This water project was meant to benefit areas of Rongai, Njoro, Molo, Bahati, Nakuru East and West, as well as parts of Gilgil. And these conversations need to move to the next level because already about 30% of the money had already been incurred, and now we need to move to the next phase. Without this dam, the water challenges in Nakuru will remain a big problem in the days to come. Ladies and gentlemen, the rising of water levels in Lake Nakuru and Lake Naivasha has affected the people living around these areas, both socially and economically. We appreciate the efforts by the national government to create a team to unravel the mystery of the rising lakes, especially noting that the rising lakes are across the entire Rift Valley, from Turkana to Baringo, Bogoria, and Elementaita here in Nakuru. During our meetings early last year, I asked the task force to consider setting up a Vakiti to help those affected and mitigate the human-wildlife conflict, especially involving hippos in Naivasha Kihoto area. In Nakuru, we have provided cash transfers in Kihoto area in Naivasha, non-food items and transport to the affected families in Barut, Nakuru West, but also appreciate that this is just a drop in the ocean. There is need for more concerted effort by the national government to ensure that these families do not become victims of weather alone. We must be part and parcel of helping them to overcome. We aim to find the cause of the rising lakes, which will help the county plan in future to avoid displacement of people and destruction of property. We also hope to come up with ways of helping those displaced by the water, as they are unlikely to move back to their homes. In addition, allow me to note that the youth form a huge part of our population, and my administration has been particularly keen in investing in programs that will help us to tap on their potential. Also, noting is that empowerment of the youth is critical, and to this extent, we have procured 75 motorcycles, 75 car wash machines, 518 shaving machines, 30 water tanks, and 11 public address systems. We are also procuring 200 helmets, 3,000 motorcycle umbrellas to help them operate even when it rains. These items will be distributed to youth groups across the county. And allow me to also say that it is not possible for us to employ everybody, but it is possible for us to create an environment where everybody can take advantage of the environment and create wealth out of it. And some of these programs are supposed to help them just realize that potential. In addition to this, my administration has constructed 5 Ict Innovation Hubs in Kuresoi North, Subukia, Nakuru East, Nakuru West, and Rongai sub-counties. The ICT hubs are aimed at assisting the youth to take advantage of the digital space to earn an income. And again, I wish to note that we have real heroes who have emerged out of these centers, gotten the initial support, and now can stand on their own. They're able to get assignments online from people far and wide across the globe, and through that, they can earn digitally. So again, we want to see more of this across the other sub-counties that have not benefited in the past. We have also invested in rehabilitation of vocational training centers across the county, and we want to take this opportunity to encourage students who have completed Class 8 or Form 4 to take up this training. And we say this in the full knowledge that our TVETs are not operating optimally, that we're at about 60%, meaning we still have a 40% capacity that can be utilized. And again, as a county, we have invested heavily on improvement of infrastructure in the vocational training centers. And a good example is Njoro Vocational Training Center, which is ongoing at a cost of 9.7 million shillings. Works, the site include construction of 2 workshops and 2 classes, and is expected to be completed in a month. We have also revived the construction of the 10 million free area vocational training center in Nakuru East Sub-County, which had stalled for 8 months. Skills required in infrastructural works in mega projects across the county will require skills. And it is to this extent that we hope that these big projects that are coming can be tied to the skills that we have produced within these TVETs. We are also in the process of upgrading our Fraha Stadium in Nakuru town to international standards, and will increase the seating capacity from the current 8,200 to 20,000. The first phase of the project that we are undertaking in partnership with the World Bank is estimated to cost 650 million and will be complete in 14 months. The upgrades that will see the stadium host all sporting disciplines and a conventional center will make Nakuru County a premier sporting and conferencing destination. The upgrade will also nurture local sporting talents and earn the county government revenue from sports, tourism, and conventions. The county government of Nakuru is also constructing and rehabilitating Naivasha, Gilgil, Molo, Rongai, and Kamukunji sports grounds. We are also in the process of reclaiming grab land in stadiums across the county to ensure that they are put into the right use. Additionally, the construction of the Keringet Athletics Academy camp has started. The camp will have gyms, physiotherapy units, laboratory, and boarding quarters, among other facilities. We are constructing the camps to nurture talent among the youth in Nakuru, noting that some of the athletes who have made Kenya proud in the global arena came from Nakuru. Of the 5 gold medals that Kenya bagged at the 2016 Rio Olympics, 2 were from Nakuru County, by Olympic 1,500 champion Faith Chemngetich and World Marathon champion Geoffrey Kirui. This is a true manifestation that we are an emerging athletic powerhouse, and for this reason we will not spare any effort to ensure that our young people get the opportunity to master their talent. To further support sporting activities, we have distributed assorted items and equipment valued at 37 million to various teams and different disciplines across the county. We also supported talent through sponsorship of the Governors Football Cup tournament at 4.5 million shillings, the Kiringet Road Race and Marathon at 3 million, and sponsored the Kenya Youth Inter-County Sports Association Games at 5 million shillings. Away from the field and tracks, my administration has been supporting the youth to nurture their creative talents. We have renovated the Nakuru Players Theatre and social halls across the county to allow performing arts to thrive. The Nakuru Players Theatre was equipped with a modern recording studio and other equipment in 2019, and this enabled the staging of Sarafina, the musical play where local artists underwent month-long training workshops and were fully involved in the show. We will be staging other shows that highlight Nakuru's untold stories in future. Over the COVID period, we started the Mtaani live show that offered a platform for hundreds of local artists to showcase their talents and earn a living in these times of the COVID pandemic. Musicians, DJs, poets, fashion designers, artists, among others, performed at a fee while the show is streamed live on social media platforms. The Culture Department has played a critical role in using creative arts to create awareness on the COVID-19 pandemic. The department supported youth to produce short films on COVID-19 prevention, and alongside that, they also worked with the Nakuru Players Theatre, and these have gone a long way in ensuring that the message of prevention and debunking of myths has also been facilitated. The department, in collaboration with Fuse Football, also used art to promote mental wellness among the youth. And we also want to note that, especially due to the COVID situation, a lot of the young people are not able to go to school, others are just stuck at home, and this creates a lot of mental challenges, including depression. And therefore, art becomes one of the ways we can be able to promote some of these challenges that we have. Early childhood development, that is ECD, is critical in learning. And to this extent, my administration has invested heavily. And last year, we launched the distribution of 30,000 learning materials worth about 7.7 million shillings. County government also continues to distribute furniture to ECD centers across the county. The furniture included chairs and tables for the pupils and teachers. We have also budgeted 10 million in the year 2020-2021 to facilitate the equipping of 190 ECD centers. We have also recruited 350 ECD teachers in the first phase, and we are in the process of hiring another 116 more teachers. This will bring the total number to 466. Further, the construction of ECD centers of excellence in Muslim Primary School in Nakuru West and Milimari Primary School in Naivasha Sub-County is ongoing at a cost of 12 million shillings. The centers of excellence will provide a conducive environment to address the unique needs of young learners and reduce congestion in ECD classes. We plan to establish 11 centers of excellence in each sub-county, which will be a huge boost to the early education in our county. And again on this, allow me to note that without a good foundation at the ECD level, the child will have major challenges catching up later. So we are putting a lot of emphasis so that by the time a child gets to class 1, they are adequately prepared for the huge task ahead. My administration continues to support needy students in the society to pursue their education. And to this, we wish to note that no child should be left home because they cannot afford to pursue their dream. In the year 2019-2020, we disbursed a total of 84.4 million in bursary to 20,344 needy students from across the county. This financial year, the county government has set aside 77 million shillings for bursary targeted to assist 20,000 needy students. In a bid to preserve indigenous culture and heritage, the county government is also setting up cultural centers across the county. The centers will provide a platform to educate communities about various cultures through the use of events, festivals, and workshops. The centers will also act as tourist attractions and preservation centers for our culture. Already the department has handed over a site in Joro for the construction of the Gikuyu Tene Cultural Association Center. Another center is set to be constructed at Marieshoni to preserve the Ogiek culture. Most of the projects we have initiated to empower women, especially in markets and farming. To further empower women, including the youth, we will distribute 125 hair dryers, 506 blow dryers, 11 ovens, 70 makers, and 80 warmers. We will also distribute 10 incubators with generators. My administration has continued to support persons with disabilities across the county, and we have procured items worth 27.5 million to support them. On gender, we recognize the ills of the society that require our attention, including gender-based violence. We are setting up an 8 million gender-based violence rescue center in Gilgil to help victims by providing free medical treatment and psychosocial support. As a society, it is important to take care of our elderly. And in recognition of this, the county government has refurbished the Alms House in Nakuru East. And this 71-year-old home for the elderly is being refurbished at a cost of 12 million shillings. And this will involve addition of 2 modern blocks and a perimeter wall that has been missing. And this whole change will bring an additional capacity of 30 more people. The county government, again, through the department, is also in the process of reclaiming land that had been grabbed near the home for the purpose of expansion of this facility in days to come. On the tourism front, allow me to note that tourism is a critical driver in our economy. The sector has been the major casualty in the COVID-19 pandemic due to travel and other restrictions that have affected the industry. The restrictions have been necessary for the management of COVID-19 and must be embraced by all despite the bitter pill. My administration is working with the Nakuru County Tourism Association on ways to support the industry. I wish to take this opportunity to acknowledge the County Assembly for their work, especially in legislation and creating an enabling environment, especially through enabling legislation. But first, allow me again to take this opportunity to congratulate the newly elected members, the member for Hellsgate, Virginia Amaitha Gitonga, and the Honorable Anthony Nzuki of London Ward, together with the Honorable Simon Wananga of Lakeview, who will replace the late Peter Karanja. These are the 3 new members, and we wish them all the best in their new endeavor. I have witnessed a great public interest in passing of legislation that have direct positive impact on the residents of Nakuru. I congratulate the members for their robust debates and fast-tracking bills that I have assented to. Some of the critical and landmark bills that I have assented to include the Nakuru Cooperative Revolving Development Fund of 2020 that establishes a revolving fund for the cooperative societies within the county at low interest rates. The Nakuru County Revolving Development Fund regulations 2021 have been developed and validated. The regulations are currently before the County Assembly, and once the regulations are approved by the County Assembly, the fund will be available to cooperatives across Nakuru County. And again, noting that a lot of our farmers and business people are in cooperatives, this is one move that can avail a lot of credit. And also working with commercial banks, we can ensure that access to credit becomes a thing of the past. We also have the TCES bill that will enable us to access funds deducted from farmers. And once again, it's good to note that before this bill came into effect, we could not access the TCES money that had already been deducted, and this was a major challenge. So this will unlock a lot of that money. We also have the Nakuru County Revenue Authority bill that will help to regularize revenue collection and give a platform upon which we can improve our revenues and make them predictable beyond even our time. We also have the Nakuru County Climate Change Bill of 2020 that puts in place framework and mechanisms on how to bring together all relevant stakeholders in responding effectively to climate change. Again, we also have the Nakuru County Water and Sanitation Bill 2020 that seeks to develop, regulate, and manage county public works related to provision of water and sanitation services, storm water management systems, water conservation, water harvesting, and other connectivity. The executive will continue to collaborate and work closely with the county assembly for the benefit of Nakuru. As a county, we need to continue to adapt to the new ways of doing things under the COVID-19. In view of the recently held by-elections in Nakuru, that is in Hell's Gate and London, it is unfortunate to note that observance of the COVID-19 protocols was a big challenge. And as a result of that, we have had many victims of the process. Leaders and ordinary persons who participated were exposed to the infections of the pandemic. And therefore, to this extent, we also wish to appeal to the national government and also the Ministry of Health to look into ways of ensuring that future political activities, including democratic processes like by-elections, referendums, and even the election, can be conducted in a manner that does not endanger the public. And noting that the BBI process is also underway, and we are also at the tail end where a referendum is very likely, then we need to agree that the mode and manner in which we campaign needs to be reviewed to be in conformity with the COVID-19 challenges. The third wave, especially in the counties that of Nakuru, Machakos, are essentially where some of these by-elections were. And I think there is a direct connection between those by-elections and the outcomes that we find now. So we feel that it is extremely important that the nation comes up with ways and means of campaigning, of voter persuasion, mobilization that is not physical. And I think through this way, we can be able to use other channels, including the radio, the social media and online platforms, as opposed to the physical meetings that we have seen. And as a county, again, and we have said this in the past, we are key beneficiaries of the BBI process and therefore will remain strong defenders of the BBI and hope that all is done to ensure that the promises under the BBI are delivered on time, and to also benefit Nakuru and the rest of the country. Thank you.
Ilinde jumuiya Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa